Welcome at Painting at School. The summary. This opening happens in our village mill. Look inside. The summary. The last themes in this lesson. Painting is one of the subjects, the art subjects. And the art subjects are meant to open the senses, the 12 senses, and to be more conscious about the 7 life processes, from observation to the 7th step, self-creation. And by art, to get more and more consciousness about these steps. So you start at the end creating by yourself. In painting we have the colors, the fascinating world of the colors. And 3 of them are very important. I show you here the 3 colors in a yellow, red and blue. And I show you from this artist these special 3 ones. Piet Mondriaan. He worked at the end of his life with the 3 colors. He started with painting in nature and then he brought it back in a more abstract. The forms in black and white lines or patches, you find this yellow, red and blue. And inspired by this style, about 80 years ago, it was Rietveld who made as architecture houses. He developed houses with these colors, but also furniture. He said, as a good architecture, you should develop each year to design each year a chair, for instance. And if people said, oh, they're not so easy sitting, he said, sitting is a verb. So you find these red, blue and yellow details in this chair. So it's all about the senses, development of it, and be more conscious of the 7 life processes. And as teacher, you follow the pupil, the child, pupil, the student in this process about development of the soul of the child. And Steiner calls the teacher as soul artist. So we can't be all artists as teacher, but we can try in our education by observation and experiences to become a soul artist. The kindergarten. We went through all the materials we used in the kindergarten, like a yellow, a red and a blue, and a brush and the water and the board and the paper, and how to choose these 3 colors. Let's look again to these colors. We have a golden yellow and a lemon, and the other 2 reds and the 2 blues. And we mix from these 2 a yellow we like to use in this lesson in the kindergarten. It's something between a cooler and a warmer, like this red and this blue. It is not as cold as Prussian, not so warm as ultramarine, but just in between. And then of course they mix them in a green, in an orange and also in violet and everything they like to paint. Because painting in the kindergarten, in small groups, or with the whole group, or during free playing, just with the teacher, they learn it by imitation, by looking the way the teacher is painting or the other children in the classroom. And they are totally free to use the colors they want. They mix and they make lovely paintings out of it. So it is free painting in different, totally different way. And often they just also kind of houses or other forms appears. Grade 1, 2 and 3 is about color moods. The will of the colors, the emotions. So the radiating yellow, the active red and the inwards radiating blue. And of course all the secondary colors like green, orange and the violets. And they work together and they have intervals and their big adventure to discover all the possibilities. Possibilities I showed you from the red in combination with the blue ones or the yellow ones, other combinations. Everything is possible. And they do just their first experiences with it. And they become more aware of what happens. So in the conversation afterwards, you look at the paintings. How blue is really surrounded, very friendly, by the yellow and carried by this red. So look after all kinds of compositions from above and low, from the left to the right, and these forms too. Colors are emotions, are moods. So it's all connected with words. And these moods you find in the stories, in the fairy tales, in the legends. In all the stories you're telling, there are moments in which there is a certain mood, like courage, or somebody is very excited, or calm, or vain, or noble, or sly, or very happy. And have a conversation with the children about these moods. How does it feel? And which color will you choose to express this quality? So in the 3 grades you go through all the moods. In grade 1, more static, you place them together, you mix them in all kinds of compositions. Then you go in grade 2 to the complementary colors. And you go from the mood into the gesture. Yeah, 2 colors are meeting, the gesture of the color, to the figures in grade 3. So from mood to movement to a figure. All about the moods. In grade 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, we go from the soul mood into the nature moods. And then we need more mixing of the colors, from the primary to the secondary ones to the tertiary. So you mix even the secondary colors with each other. So you come in more the darkness of the plant green, the brown violets, and even the black colors. As you see in this painting, if you start mixing them and more intensive here, this way you come in this very interesting browny, greeny, black colors you really need for the landscape, for the animals, for the plants, the world of the minerals, the volcanoes. Well, just new colors for this age. In grade 7 and 8 we come into the more dramatic landscape, more dramatic moods of the nature, like thunder and storm, or sunrises, sunset, or the phases of the moon, like here in the morning or in the evening. The Industrial Revolution, the indigo color into the black, based on the first experiences of the black and white line with charcoal. The charcoal, which starts in 6, 7, 8, 9 into the melancholica of Dürer, and first the basic exercises, and then all the exercises with the object, like the ball, the pyramid, the shadow on it, and all the steps you need to end with shadow which is on the floor. So these exercises make and sharpen their observation of the nature of the objects and what happens between the light and the darkness. In grade 6, you observe already as teacher that wet in wet painting asks a next step, and that can be the veil painting, in which you have veils layer with thin colors, like in the mineral period you can use this, and dry it again, so you need more patience to do it. You build it up very, very slowly. And you can use buildings, landscape, all kinds of simply exercises for the veil painting in 6, 7, 8. In the background we have all the time the color theory of Goethe. And that's about light and darkness. And we have some darkness before the light, like here we have seen. And how it will change if it is less or it is more. More by the sunrise and the sunset. And we talk about the blue, the light before the darkness. And in the flame we see all these together. The blue parts and the red, yellow parts. That's one side, and the other side is the color theory of Steiner. About the green, the incarnation color, white and black, image and luster. And in practical work we have the luster color, the mineral world, and then we have the luster image and the image luster by animals and plants, and the image by the human being. And let's look at this rose, in which you can see if it starts growing, there's a lot of red in it. That's the luster of life. And yellow is the luster of the spirit, and blue is the luster of the soul. So Steiner's color theory is needed from grade 4 and up, in the upper classes. And then we want to look back with the students to the work and looking forward in the theme assessment and portfolio. Student, child, the parent and the teacher, and the work in the center. And there have been conversations: where do you want to work at in your painting the next time? And how is it looking like? So which step can you make in the painting lessons, in the art lessons? And this is together all about education, in which we talk about the qualification, knowledge and skills, the socialization, how you work together in painting lessons, in art lessons, and at last, of course, the self-development of the student. We are at the end of the course. We hope you enjoyed it and learned a lot about it. And we liked, Bas and me, to do this for you. Enjoy it, the colors, and use it to work with the young children and the students. Bye bye.